This March Madness Picks Elite 8 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WinBet. Get started today and you'll get a risk-free bet up to $500. Terms and conditions apply. Get the details at wynnbet.com and download the app today. We're also brought to you by BetQL. Your bracket may bust, but your bankroll never has to with BetQL. Use promo code March30 for 30% off the entire year of BetQL. That's BetQL.com, promo code March30. We're also brought to you by Better Than Vegas. Better Than Vegas is your home to free daily video picks from SGPN. It's like YouTube for sports gambling. Make sure to subscribe to our profile at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BTV. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BTV. We're also brought to you by OddsCrowd. OddsCrowd has a ton of free fantasy betting contests, including a $2,000 season-long MLB contest and a $500 weekly contest. Download their app today over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/odds. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/odds. We're also brought to you by Pickswise. Follow the Pickswise Capper contest at pickswise.com for free picks and analysis throughout the tournament from the likes of John Rothstein, Rashad Phillips, Jeff Nadu, and more. See which expert is trending hot as they battle it out for a winner takes all $10,000 prize over at pickswise.com. Also brought to you by Better Edge. Better Edge operates like a stock exchange for the sports world. Pick the teams you like and have someone else buy the other side. Sign up at betteredge.com, promo code SGP for a free $10 play. That's BETTOR edge.com, promo code SGP. Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan. Real money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer dog?
Oh, it seemed we were shaky. It seemed like the heater might be in question. But not only did the picks rebound on Sunday, at least for me,
yes,
but the NFL announces a 17th game.
Let's go, baby.
Don't sell this short. The fact that this is part of the heater. This is part of the heater that started with my Beavers. Now on an Elite 8 run. NC State, Jimmy Valvano, where are you at? Bring the guest on. Let's go.
Joining as always, third man in the booth, talking college basketball, Colby Dant, aka the Danta Pace. What's happening, Colby?
Dude, this is just great. I got FCS football all day, college basketball. I mean, I'm just loving life, man. I was on UCLA money line.
Yes, let's go. Yeah, it was, almost a sour 16 because I went 1-3 on Saturday, rebounded going 3-1 today on Sunday. So balance things out a little bit. Overall, though, you look at the lock records. Kramer in the lead right now, 12-4 with the locks, 33-26-1 overall. I'm slightly ahead overall, 34-25-1. My lock record nipping at his heels, 11-5. Colby keeping his head above water with an 8-7 lock record. Overall, slightly below 500. Of course, there is the controversial Villanova pick you gave out on the podcast.
Look,
switched it on the sheet.
I got solo podcasts also that are on record with what I fucking said. All right,
Human Resources reached out to me. They said, "What is going on with Colby?"
Here's what I want to know, though.
Yes.
All right, we've been doing this a long time, guys. Never before have I not been allowed to change my picks in the spreadsheet. Kramer, the dungeon master, staying in his spot, not
He's
letting
throwing
me.
the keys out.
I'm looking right here. I see Colby Dant. Both. I'm redoing it, but both of your accounts have access.
I'm telling you, I went to go change it on there.
First of all, why we record the pod? You're not sending me an audio edit for the podcast too. So of course you can't change what you've given out.
What do you mean? You change horses midstream all the time.
This is how physics works. We can't go back in time, right? We can't, not yet, unless we are in the simulation and we have figured out it's we get in a whole loop.
Ryan's pretty hilarious. Every once in a while, just like, we are living in a simulation. As if everyone had been having that same thought.
And well, it's right now that I figured out that we are in the simulation, which is why it allowed us to have the most accurate predictive model.
Let's
in
go,
the history
baby.
of mankind.
All right, so much to get to, and
I'm fired up.
We'll save the FCS recap for later in the week.
No, Colby was so
He was hot, man. Come on, Eastern Washington minus 24.
Sunday night, I walk into the office and Colby has a spreadsheet open.
I go. Oh wow, Colby!
Look at this.
It was hilarious. I go, Colby. Wow, look at Colby over there.
I
With
need
the
a camera
spreadsheet.
right here.
He's doing a ton of prep for the podcast. I didn't realize he put that much time into like data analysis. And Colby's like, this motherfucker on Twitter, and I'm putting him in a locker. I'm shoving him in there. I just dropped some knowledge on him, and I go, what is it? Is he arguing about the college football playoff? He's like, he is.
Well, what's crazy is you guys just think this is like a one-time thing. You don't understand my life.
I know it haunts you.
This is a daily fucking thing. I have thousands of these spreadsheets with tons of knowledge, tons of gems just waiting for you. All right. Anytime you want to knock on this door, it's open, brother.
Of all the things, I mean, again, you're just giving. If someone does want to heckle Colby, just say, you think a 14 playoff is all college football needs, and we're off to the races.
Literally in the middle of doing something. I mean, 5 years of schedule analysis right here. In this
I have deeper dives from years before.
The Google sheet is just called 5 years.
Alabama has never had back-to-back road games in back-to-back years. It was fucked from the beginning.
The best,
Sean, the X-Files music, please.
Well, the best is the fact that like when people hit me up and say, well, dude, you pick every game. That's awesome that you do that. And I go, dude, we were already doing that even before we ever did the podcast.
Yeah.
Me and my brothers were already on an email chain picking every game.
And for those who don't see Colby on a day-to-day basis, he is very passionate about the completeness of his record and his ability to share those picks.
We made a switch on the website, upgraded the system, and it is.
Was not happy with that system at first, man. Was not
it looks
happy
great,
with that
right? It has
system.
the team
It does
logos.
look great.
It has all this great stuff. It compares us to other media outlets. It's great. Colby comes to me, he's like, I can't work with this. Can you tell them that I need to see this in a format that's more like a spreadsheet?
First thing I wake up and go to get a coffee, turn on the phone. This is fucked, man. They don't have Weber State, Weber State game.
This is bad.
I was talking to my NC Nick said Arkansas Pine Bluff wasn't posted in time.
Yeah, man.
The fans are pissed.
They're fucking with me. My fucking percentage. All right.
Oh, and then they were also getting thrown in the locker for the juju and possibly putting Colby on a cooler.
Oh my God.
Wow. So much shit going on here. We will be recapping the Sweet 16. We will be previewing the Elite 8, giving out the picks there. We are live on YouTube, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. We're also live on the Locker Room line. Give us a ring. Maybe you have a team, a coach, you want to shove in the locker, maybe your bracket, maybe some of the picks you had for the Sweet 16.
I mean, I'll shove someone in the locker.
Sure,
can we do McDermott, the coach of Creighton? Because I had some winnings from the FCS yesterday, so I decided to go to play Creighton on the money line, right? And boy, you're thinking the one thing you don't want to do with Gonzaga is make it a track meet. All right, what the fuck are they doing? You got to bleed the clock. It's like he didn't study any film. Fire him. You know,
Kramer and I were on Gonzaga, and just watching that game, I go, everything's going perfect. This is weird. Like I wasn't concerned at all, really. And the spread was 13, but it never really felt in doubt because Timmy was just getting in there, just buckets. The pace was so fast, and they were hitting at a pretty good rate, but not like astronomical. USC in that first half. Against Oregon, it was just like, okay, if they're going to hit 70% from the three, we're just not. Oregon's not going to be in this game. Yeah, but I didn't feel like that with Gonzaga that they were shooting that well.
Yeah, well, look, Gonzaga has 3 first-round picks projected on their starting 5, so you're coming in outgunned. So what's the strategy? Any coach that's a decent coach would say we need to limit their possessions. This dude just is like, okay, go, everyone run, shoot. I'm like, what did you study?
Played right into Gonzaga's hands. Kramer, we got a caller on the locker room line.
We got Matt calling in. Matt, how was your Sweet 16?
It was a lot of ups and downs, guys.
Yeah, feel that.
We had Weber State. Shawnee gotta quit fucking calling it Weber. It's Weber. Weber State with the fucking Hail Mary. Okay,
love it. Were you on that?
Yeah, well, I was on. No, well, I had them on the spread, and obviously they only won by a couple.
Losers.
Yeah. But
Weber State.
So, yeah, fucking Weber, not fucking laying the spread. But then I got Oral Roberts on the money line. But I had them on the spread last week, so they covered on the spread last week, and I was like, "Fuck, I should have done the money line." This week did the money line, and they fucking can't fucking pull it out.
Oh man, he got a good look too. That 3-pointer. I mean, as an Oral Roberts money line backer, you couldn't have asked for a better shot there, right?
I mean, even if you watch that one's brutal because you watch that game, and yes, they got severely out rebounded late, but I still feel like you kind of watch that one and you think Oral Roberts is the better team.
Yeah, or at least in that game, and you could tell that something happened psychologically towards the end there, where they were like, where all of a sudden a switch flipped for them, and they were all of a sudden went into like happy to be there mode.
Yeah,
but they still got up a great shot there. Any other Sweet 16 ups and downs you got?
I hit the. Oh shit! Never mind. I forgot I hit.
Oh, I hit that same one. I hit that same one. I feel you. I understand nice. right where you're coming from.
What any leans on the Elite Eight? Have you made a pick yet?
Let's go with Jong's UCLA Bruins. Huh?
I mean, we'll see as we break this down.
DGen sticking together.
It's going to be tough to go against UCLA, but also UCLA. UCLA coming off an emotional, draining overtime win, and that Michigan team looked amazing. Appreciate the call, man.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
All right, let it ride. Kramer, I mean, so much exciting stuff going on the podcast network. We were Hollywood bigwigs reached out to us. They heard about our magical run, and they're actually doing.
I'm like, what is Sean talking about? This sounds great.
Sorry.
I also
Harvey Weinstein.
No, that's
great when Ryan falls for the bits. We were ESPN, worldwide leader, reached out to us, and again they've given us the trailer for a documentary that will be released coming out shortly, and we're able to play that here for you on the podcast.
What if I told you that sometimes a bet is more than just
36 first half unders?
That instead of simply winning money, you were helping a nation heal. That a predictive, back-tested, highly scientific model could bring people together. And that they would rise up in support of air balls, missed layups, and shot clock violations. What if I told you that scoring big doesn't mean getting a lot of points? That the biggest shots are the ones that were missed. That first half unders can change people's lives. ESPN presents a 30 for 30 special. The Halfning, Tuesday, 8 p.m., presented by Levi's.
All right.
So
That's
money.
gold. That's gold.
And shout out to the I don't have his name in front of me, but one of the listeners on Twitter hit us up with the Halfning as the name.
Yeah.
So respond to your tweet. I couldn't track it down who it was, but we'll hook you up with some gear.
Oh, look at this fucking Santa Claus over here. It's just, again, just throwing out free stuff. Unbelievable.
Right. When have you ever cared about anything related to that?
I want to make sure the rocket stays fueled up, Sean.
Oh, the rocket is fueled. It's ready. If you're looking for a rocket ship to take off, why not check out WinBet? That's right, baby. College hoops is back. WinBet is live in a number of states. New states getting added by the day, by the week. Oh man. All the action of real sports betting and online casino play, all from your buddies over at Win Las Vegas. Get in. Favorite teams, Cinderella story. Still a couple Cinderellas out there. Will the glass fit Oregon State? Glass slipper? Will it fit UCLA? We're going to find out. Don't miss out on the madness. Generous promos, odds, parlays are happening right now over at WinBet. The parlay boost, the nice little wheel spin. And what's really fun is you can print out your ticket. Those are great for posting online, sending to buddies. And again, we'll do a little March Madness promo. Sign up, win bet, send us a ticket. We'll hook you up with a free t-shirt. Again, if that wasn't enough, risk-free bet up to $500. Terms and conditions apply. Get the details over at wynnbet.com and download the app today. LFG.
Awesome. Love that music. Still, it's going to be sad when we have to. I guess we'll use it for the NBA too, right?
Yeah, why not?
Tell me we're allowed to use it for the NBA too.
I'll allow it, Ryan.
All right.
All right, let's just roll through.
Or?
Yeah, we can roll through. It's only 8 games. Roll through the Sweet 16.
Or I mean, all right, Oregon State, Loyola, Chicago. This was a bit of a shocker. I think we got a little bit too into Sister Jean.
I think I think what happened was once Loyola was a favorite, that's just not the style of this team. They're a scrappy dog that people look past, and then they went up against Oregon State, and they just shot so poorly in the first half, couldn't figure it out. The zone, and by the time they figured it out, it was too late. Well, really annoying because I liked overall the way Loyola Chicago played and how they looked in this tournament. It was just kind of the worst case scenario against this Oregon State team.
Well, and Tinkle actually had a coaching approach that showed a lot of different looks. I thought it was just a smart coaching game plan by Oregon State. They lined up. They really made. I know Williamson shot a bad percentage, but when he got into foul trouble, they attacked him. It was great to keep him on the bench, and just really impressive, man.
Yeah, I mean, coaching. Really,
it made the Illinois coach look like a fucking idiot for not doing anything.
Never made any adjustments, and then you got this guy just doing all different types of adjustments throughout the whole game. Great job by Wayne Tinkle. They
name too. I mean, let's not sell that short.
And shout out to him. He was on the verge of being fired. They wanted to fire him,
and then what? Like, it's funny how that works out, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's funny how he earned it. Villanova, Baylor. Is it fair to say I feel like we got a bit robbed?
I mean, once Slater went down,
I thought I was money line live.
Oh, I mean, Villanova was. They were scrappy that entire game.
See, I picked Baylor for several reasons, guys. All right.
No, beat podcast Colby, the one that was on Villanova and jinxed the Villanova play. Once Slater went out, Baylor went on a 15-6 run, and it just seemed like too much. But really, Villanova should have probably covered this game. But kudos to Baylor. I mean, they hit some shots late and kind of got away from them. I don't know, but Baylor. I still wasn't like super impressed with Baylor, but to that point too, Baylor won and covered without hitting their threes. And I feel like coming up in this next game, they're going to hit more of those threes.
The other
Butler, figured out ways to score without hitting the three. So that's why it's scary going against Baylor.
The other side of this coin is Nova didn't play anyone.
Yeah,
and Nova got exposed, and maybe they weren't that good, and maybe Baylor, they need to be a little bit better than a half a game or whatever it is.
I think they would have lost but covered if Slater stayed in the game.
Well, let me ask you this: which team do you think is the luckiest team? Because I mean, you got Houston that's only played double-digit seeds.
Yeah,
you got Arkansas, which seems like they've been down in every single game.
Well, and let's real quick, we might as well talk about it because one of the things that again back to the commandment, Sean, came prepared tonight. Thou shalt respect balanced teams. And we told you there were 4 balanced teams left: Gonzaga, Michigan, Houston, USC. They all advanced.
Yeah, seriously,
no big deal. All right, and we said defense is probably less important than offense nowadays. I think is what
that's not true though.
We agreed that we would prefer a team with defense, but offense was more important. The teams in the outside defense was more important. The teams outside the top 20 defense, Baylor, they survived. Nova, Florida State, Oregon, UCLA, and Cuse. UCLA now becomes the outlier with Baylor. Bad defense, good offense. Can they continue to survive by outscoring the other team?
But I think UCLA played a great defensive game, and I think people got to realize that there's so many young players on that team. They also had their top. Another thing is their top 2 players are out.
And to me, for the Alabama UCLA game, we can jump ahead there. 88-78, UCLA won, obviously as the dog and covered. To me, the commandment that really makes sense for this game is free throws, right? Yeah. I mean, Alabama was like 11 for 20 from the line. Like they They just couldn't hit a fucking free throw. And again, Cronin kind of got bailed out by, how do you not foul before he gets off that 3-point shot? That is to me is horrible coaching.
Lucky,
but he coached a great game otherwise. And Alabama on the other side, I like what I've seen overall this season from Nate Oates, but what was Nate Oates doing? Like, they were so much longer, more physical. Why were they not hanging out in the paint more on the offensive side?
Cronin held Alabama's offense to just 28 points in the first half. I know this game went to overtime. You see that number, but UCLA played a great defensive game, and I expected that after giving him 5 days. Cronin's specialty has been defense his whole career. Yeah. You give him 5 days. I thought that had a shot. That's why I thought UCLA could cover, and I actually ended up sprinkling some on the money line. So,
here we go.
Go Bruins, man.
Well, I'm sure this man had some money on the money line as well. Mr. Jong. What
UCLA 555 plus 245 money line.
Let's go,
there
baby.
We go. What's up, man?
Well, and kudos to Jong, and Jong setting a great example, mailing us delicious sweet liquor for the studio, and then his team wins outright as a 6.5 point dog. Not saying it's connected, but I'm not saying it's not connected.
I know people.
Yeah, Jong, you got to be stoked about UCLA moving on.
I'm very stoked. I wasn't expecting it. I did tell on the last podcast, I think first to 60 might win, and I think UCLA barely got that 61st, and then eked it out. However, I still need to be stuffed in the locker.
Oh no!
Today, I got a little too cute. Second half.
Oh no!
I took Bama on the point spread -6.5.
Oh no!
Oh, the overtime.
So UCLA scored 25 in the second half, but they ended up scoring 23 in overtime.
Jesus!
And so I got
Can't
a little
go
too
against
cute.
your own team, John.
Stuffed me in the locker. That's what I'm calling.
Hey,
I'm in my crow.
I like it. Well, enjoy the win and enjoy enjoy the cash. Man.
Enjoy life. You know.
Let it ride.
Hell yeah.
That's the level of accountability we hold people to.
Yeah.
In the G-Gens only community.
He outed himself.
Open,
like
transparent, accountable. Let's move forward.
BetQL.com, baby. They had UCLA, one of their, I think the only 5-star play for BetQL for the Sweet 16. I was on it. Kramer dared to go against myself and BetQL, and he suffered the consequences.
My bad.
You don't need to suffer consequences. A consequence like paying a full price for BetQL. I mean, again, you're going to be gambling the entire year. Why not do yourself a favor? Sign up at BetQL.com. Use the promo code March 30. You get 30% off the full year. I think it knocks it down to like $44. I mean, you do the math on that. It's less than $4 a month. That's less than one beer. And you're going to be drinking a lot of beers if you're doing shitty picks. Bet smarter, not harder. BetQL.com. Promo code March 30. Also want to shout out Odds Crowd. That's right. You've seen the Odds Crowd March Madness contest. Our buddy Alan Cooley dominating right now in first place. I'm hanging on, nipping at his heels in third place.
That'd be awesome.
They're giving away $5,000 for their March Madness contest.
It's the top place, $5K.
Top place, $2,500. I'm sitting at third place, $500.
Okay.
Again, if you missed out on the March Madness contest, don't worry. They have a $500 weekly contest. Again, you can pick any sport, any games, and a $2,000 MLB season-long contest. Great app, completely free. Track your bets, do it all. All you got to do, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/odds. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/odds. Oral Roberts, Kramer. Colby and I were on Oral Roberts 70-72. That was the money line should have been alive in that. Other than that, didn't feel like much of a sweat catching that 12.
I mean, they were the better team. I think they were up the longer percentage of the game.
Yeah.
Got very cute. Got very cute there.
Yeah. And I'm still not sold on Arkansas. It'll be interesting when we get to the lines for that one, but
just they when you watch them, you're like, they're eventually going to play a team that won't make enough mistakes to allow them to come back and win a game.
Well, they've had a very fortunate role. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if you look at that road is
Hogs.
Yeah.
They've had it. Syracuse 46, Houston 62. Kramer, you of course wanted Buddy Boeheim. Buddy. We had to put him down.
Buddy Boeheim out to the farm.
And I mean, you could see this again if you ran your simulations. My model had this as certainly as a possibility when I was running all my simulations on my model. Of them just not being able to hit a fucking shot and Houston being able to shoot out that zone. It eventually happens.
You know what it was? It was I finally bet on Syracuse, which I wanted. Look, as a Syracuse truther, that I said I watched this team all year and said this is not a good team. It's just not a good team.
We needed again, I didn't want to come on here and blame Colby, but
I'll take the rap for this.
I'll let the trends speak for themselves.
I'll take the rap for this one.
And you poisoned Villanova by picking them on the podcast, and then have the audacity to claim it as a win.
No. The Syracuse one. I'm glad. Okay. I'm glad I took the loss to get them out of the fucking field because they never belonged.
What do you mean? How can you say they never?
Clearly they belong. They won some games, but they sprinkled fairy dust on this tournament because I'm telling you, as a guy who watched them all year, they were not a very good team.
No, that's why tournament, Colby. It's completely different.
Yeah.
But also that being said, am I crazy? I'm still not. And I think I've picked against them every game, but I still don't like what I've seen out of Houston. Now they certainly dominated Syracuse, but
intriguing considering they continue to win. So
no,
they should have lost to Rutgers. They should have lost.
I guess
to
I
Rutgers.
Just question the path, I guess. But they
maybe I had them. Yeah. Maybe I had them against Rutgers. I feel like every game I've picked of Houston's I've got wrong.
They also fit because your instincts say fade Houston in the tournament, and then when you actually look at Houston, they fit so many of our commandments.
That's true.
They have all the things you want. Lots of people can score. They feel they're confident with the ball. They can play defense. So they're a
little undersized.
Had to take my medicine a little bit with this one, but I certainly think they still fit the criteria moving forward. Sean, Florida State, Michigan just absolutely. This was a gift from the gods.
I mean, this was my lock, but I still was shocked at this.
Let me take you through my morning because I woke up early. A couple of the DGens over in Slack, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Slack. Well, we were in there talking F1 this morning, the Bahrain Grand Prix. One of the dudes, and I feel like I should give him credit because it was pretty awesome. Parlay. I want to say his name was Parlay. Or I'm sorry, even better, Joey Pockets. No, it was sorry.
This doesn't sound like a guy who bets Formula One.
Joey Pockets.
I think you have the wrong group text there, Ryan.
Is that what F1 is?
Oil guy.
Is that what F1 is? I thought it was a new vodka.
Sorry.
Yeah, forget about that.
We're gonna cut this from the audio. Forget I said that. Gavin W. points out that we should take
Gavin sounds like a guy who bets Formula One.
He's the
not
accountant.
Joey Pockets.
Sounds like a guy who races Formula One.
We should take Mazepin first retirement plus 800. He's this dog shit driver. His dad's a billionaire, so he gets
what is first retirement?
Like basically first car to be out of the race because they crash or it just fails. Literally less than 20 seconds into the race, he just drives into the wall. Boom, 8-1. I threw a hundo on it. All right, I'm sitting pretty. Then Michigan, Florida State happens. Never a doubt. And Sean, breaking news sound effect, please, because this was just brought to my attention. Johnny Manziel tweeted this out. Quote: "This is hard to do, honestly." And then he has a screenshot of like a paperhead betting site with all of his bets.
Yeah.
All losers. UFC.
Read off his list because I just saw that tweet. It's pretty hilarious.
The fight last night in Ngannou, he bet against them. He had Creighton plus 13, Creighton plus 7.5 first half, Florida State plus 2, a parlay between Florida State and USC money line.
But so that didn't hit. But he did hit USC.
Parlayed USC money line with Alabama money line. Ooh, that's rough. Florida State minus 2.5 second half. Another loser. Alabama minus 7. Alabama money line. Alabama live money line plus 140.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, I just quote tweeted that. DGens only.
So good.
Poor Johnny football. But yeah, I mean, Michigan. We discussed this on the podcast. We made this a lock. Sean, for some reason, didn't make it a lock.
No, I bet Michigan a handsome sum. We had it in our odds shark contest, which we're 18-10 right now. We're in first place, but it's a team competition. Our team's doing pretty well.
I think we're either tied for the lead in the team competition.
Yes,
maybe one down. I don't know. This was also the only game we all agreed and got right this week. So.
I'm just laughing because I was getting my vaccine shot, got my vaccine, and I was it was a drive-through thing, and I'm listening to you get the shot and then you have to hang out for 15 minutes. Of course, I'm there with my wife, got the radio, we're listening to the Michigan game, and I'm just like fucking pumping my fist, and the lady came up and was like, are you all right? I'm like, yeah, no. I wasn't reacting to the shot. I'm completely fine. I was reacting to Michigan just being unfucking stoppable. I almost wanted to just be like, yeah, I'm feeling great. Side effects, stacking cash.
In some cases, rage.
Well, and Colby already
zombie.
Colby already got to it on the Gonzaga game, but that was another one where it felt like not much of a sweat. We talked about the pace and kind of playing right into their hands. 83-65. Gonzaga easily covers.
It's mind numbing though. It's like, come on, you can give a high school coach. I mean, a soccer coach here can say, guys, they have 3 first-round draft picks. Let's not play into their awesome offense. Let's limit their possessions. Come on, this is normal. It's
game theory 101. Yes. you if you are playing a superior opponent, you want to reduce the amount of opportunity they have.
And UCLA is actually really good.
Increase the variance of the outcome of the event. Yeah, I mean, again, I think at this point you start to see coaching matters, right? Or in Oregon State, Loyola, we thought Porter Moser would be the better coach. He wasn't.
Yeah, that was surprising.
I mean, some of that was shooting also.
But
yeah.
He got out coached, which is very rare, and I think at the end of the day that's why they lost. I think when you look, at most of these matchups, coaching had something to do with it. I think you want to talk about why Arkansas is able to advance. Maybe it's because their coach is a fucking psychopath who just has these dudes believing. Like there's something to that, and there's something to being able to perform under pressure. And I know Colby questions them being down by a lot of points in the first game, but they have come back and won some games. So,
well, no, I just thought Colgate should have called a timeout. That coach. I mean, guys, can we talk about Oral Roberts should have done the same thing? Like you have to burn when the momentum is clearly in the opposing team's favor. That's when it's okay to call a fucking timeout.
Sean,
yes.
Did we talk about Oregon USC?
That was the only game we haven't hit on. Again, this wasn't much of a game.
And I quote, "The size is going to be a problem."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the size was a problem. Oregon just not being able to hit a shot. Like they got open looks in that first half. When you're down 15, it was just rough. They kind of made a little bit of a run late, but then USC was just. I mean, what were they from 3-point line? I think they were like well over 50% from the 3-point line. So yeah, you're right. They did have the size advantage to help them with the rebounding. But I mean, if USC is going to hit 60% of their threes, that team's unstoppable. Now I don't know if they can do that moving forward, but yeah, I mean, hats off to them. They just beat the shit out of.
I mean, how about the Pac-12 guys?
Yeah,
can we just talk? What are they? 12.
I feel like
2?
And yeah, 12-2. Or no, wait,
13 now. I gotta pull it up.
No, because they were.
You're right.
They were 12-1 going into the Oregon USC game, so they got a win and a loss there. I think they're 13-2, which
they
is
were
crazy.
9-1 going into this round, so they were 3-1. So
yeah,
12-2.
Oh my gosh! I mean, look, I'm trying to pull up the best all time ever here.
Someone, I mean, I think there were a couple shows out there that probably predicted the Pac-12 to do well.
I like what you're doing there.
Even as a customer of fucking Spectrum, where I can't even see the goddamn Pac-12 network, we really nailed that prediction, Sean. Should we make some predictions?
Let's do it, Ryan. Sorry, I was just reaching out to Johnny Manziel on Twitter saying, would love to have you on the show.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I
Who
would too.
books
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel's action? That guy's got to be living it up after that weekend. Well, if you're like Johnny Manziel, you can't pick a game to save your life. Maybe you should go to pickswise.com. That's right. Those guys, they're doing it. Trend watching, data devouring, sports fanatic, wise guys picking every game against the spread, every sport. They do it all. They got a Pickswise Capper contest couple of their sharp fellows over there. 6 guys battling it out for $10,000. Even our listener Jacob Herr, aka your local mailman on Twitter. Again, check out the free picks, the analysis, all over on Pickswise.com/March-Madness. Pickswise.com/March-Madness. Also want to give a shout out, Better Edge, baby. Better way to bet. So much action is to be had left in the tournament, and you should be betting without a vig, right? I mean, maybe Johnny Manziel, he could save a couple bucks by betting over on Better Edge. You're going to lose 8 games. You don't want to lose the vig as well. No. That's brutal. Head over to betteredge.com, BETTOR edge.com. Use the promo code SGP. Get a free $10 play. That's right. Free $10 play. Just that easy. They got their March Madness contest going. Really? I mean, what more do you have to say than no vig betting, legal in 40 states, betteredge.com, promo code SGP. Let's go, Kramer.
All right, and as you were talking, I was able to shout out to our guy Derek, because the USC Gonzaga line, I was able to find it. So we have a line. Let's do it. First game up, and you know what? This is a super intriguing matchup. The 12 seed Oregon State taking on Houston. Houston going to be laying 8, -370 on the money line, +300 for the Beavers. Go Beavs. 131 is the total. Sean, Elite 8. Are we worried about nerves at all with this Oregon State team? Kind of feels like they're playing with house money and they know it more. But then you have on the other side the forces that is Houston, and everyone's going to want to fade Houston. Feels like once again we're kind of at a crossroads between a public dog. Public dogs typically have fleas, but this Oregon State team has been just marching along. It's almost like you can't feel its skin. No itch. Doesn't matter.
Well, and they held Cuse to 42 points, which again, some of it was just poor shooting, but some of it obviously you have to give to their defense. And Ethan Thomas for Oregon State, averaging 20.3 points per game in the tournament, only 15.8 during the regular season, 25 out of 26 from free throws. And that win against Loyola, that didn't feel like an upset, right? To me, that just felt like they were the better team. And I know I already got hit up on Twitter from Patrick Fisher saying, which one of you clowns is going to take Oregon State? But man, it feels like this could be a sloppy, grinded out game between Oregon State and Houston. And I think that kind of pace favors Oregon State. You know, Houston's offense, they weren't even that good against Syracuse. They didn't look that great shooting the ball. It was almost just like Syracuse was worse. And they figured it out enough to shoot out that zone. And maybe
isn't this the worst time for them to be getting or for Oregon State? They just played
Syracuse.
Same fucking
quick turnaround, and they already know how to beat the zone. That's
very similar. Long athletic team. You're gonna have to shoot to beat them. They're able to shoot. They have 5 guys. I think all of the things that I thought Colby would like about Houston versus the 2-3 zone.
But Oregon State doesn't traditionally run that zone. They did that game.
No, I'm just saying in general. I think what gave the same style of, like, so Loyola Chicago and Houston are similar in their ability to play team ball. You throw a wrench at them. What's the wrench you're going to be able to throw at Houston to make it difficult for them to score, to make it
size and athleticism?
But that's the thing. You can shoot over that. You can shoot over the top of that. I mean, and I think Houston is Houston is the team that everyone's going to be like, really, I can get 8 points going against them. I can take this Oregon State team. And once again, I'm going to feel bad fading them because the chainsaw, it's the whole 9. It's a great situation, but Sean, I'm taking Houston. Houston's the balanced team. Houston's the team that fits so many of these commandments. Sure, Oregon State does. They're good free throw shooting team. You're right, but the rest of this team, it feels like so many of the Pac-12 teams feels like they're outperforming what we saw all regular season. And sure, maybe they're in perfect form right now, and they're just crushing the tournament setting. But I do think that at some point the Oregon State whatever turns into a pumpkin. Something turns into a pumpkin. the beaver turns into a pumpkin at some point, and I think it's against Houston. And I think once again,
right. and kind of
the defense of Houston is the difference here.
I mean,
I will literally pounding the table for Houston. I was going back and forth. This nugget from BetQL is kind of making me lean Houston. They and I like BetQL especially when they like the favorites because normally these algorithms kind of favor the idea of getting points.
All predictive models like unders and dogs. We know that.
Yeah, exactly. For all the reasons you would expect. They have Houston. They should be favored by 10. Again, they're calling this at 7.5, but still, Houston is 8-1 versus good free throw shooting teams, making greater than 72% of their attempts this season. So even though Oregon State does have that nod of being the good free throw shooting team, that actually plays into the hand of Houston. I'm going to go Houston -8. I don't feel amazing about it. Colby, are you locking Oregon State?
I like Oregon State here, guys. And I think one thing that you're looking at the analytics here, Oregon State didn't have anybody.
You call me a fucking nerd.
They were growing as the season. Like they didn't have, this is a brand new team, guys. This is a brand new team. I hit on this. We talked Ethan Thompson. The most important player on this team is Alatishe. That guy locks up defensively, super athletic, getting 10 points, 9 boards a game, 1.4 blocks, 1.2 steals. He does everything. Also, that transfer, Maurice Kalu, the Oklahoma State transfer, has been playing big. I just think this team is much more big and athletic than Houston. They're going to be able to mess with them. Give me the Beavers.
And I would say that Houston is much more athletic than Loyola Chicago.
True, but I think you can make a case that Oregon
I'm just saying
more
they're not
going to Houston.
In some cases, Alatishe was just scoring because he could jump higher, and I don't know if
I don't even really mean the offensive side of Alatishe. I hear you. I'm just saying lockdown defender.
I'm just saying there. I think what the massive amount of athleticism we saw in the last game might not look like jump off the screen as much against Houston as it did against.
But Oregon State went. This journey happened a long time ago. They went through the Pac-12 teams. You know what I mean?
Look,
like
I'm happy. Sean's happy. We're back to where we need to be, which is Sean and I on the same thing. You on the other side.
That was also part of my handicap.
There we go. Hey, I'm doing good, buddy.
The nightcap. 657.
Colby gets all fired up. Colby, I think there should be a bigger college football playoff for what.
Oh, there we go.
The nightcap 657.
I mean, it's 4 teams is fine though. Let's be honest.
130. Let's just do 4.
If we just start week 1, it will just happen as we go. Studio falling apart as we sit here, Sean. There must be an earthquake. Look straight ahead past the camera. We have unbelievable.
Phone panel down.
Unbelievable. Arkansas, the nightcap 657 on the West Coast. Arkansas, the 3 seed, taking on Baylor, the 1 seed. Baylor -7.5, -330 on the money line. Arkansas +270, 149 is the total. Colby.
Yeah.
This is an intriguing one. I think I know where you're going to be at here because you're a big Baylor Bears fan, but Arkansas getting a lot of points, and that's kind of the better situation for them. That's the situation maybe you like taking those points.
I do. I like the Razorbacks. I thought this was a dangerous matchup for Baylor. As a guy that has Baylor winning the bracket, I was hoping Oral Roberts would win just for that.
Colby going against himself again.
Well, no, I mean, I think they match up fairly well, man. You look at each position and you match them up, and you see, a team that probably is as athletic, if not more. And then you go position by position, and you can see a compelling match. So give me the Razorbacks to cover this.
Well, and I kind of hit on it earlier in the podcast, but to me, this Baylor won covered by a decent margin by only hit 15.8% from behind 3. It feels like that has to regress, right? To the mean, Ryan, as you would say, against this Arkansas team. And Baylor's actually been really good when being the big favorite, 7-3 against the spread when they're favored by fewer than 10 points. Butler again, he was cold, but kind of did the smart thing of getting to the rim. Arkansas does have the height advantage. Moody is kind of a matchup nightmare. I don't know, but certainly Mitchell, he's really good on defense as well. I don't know. I keep going back and forth, but I think the fact that Baylor didn't hit their threes was still able to get it done. I think they're going to get it done this time by hitting their 3. So I'm going to take Baylor laying the 7.5. And I certainly see the case for Arkansas though, but Arkansas back-to-back wins of only by 2 points. I don't know if that's an argument for or against them. You could say maybe we've seen this so far of like teams kind of getting by the skin of their teeth and then getting destroyed in the next round as the competition ramps up.
Well, in the conversation here is, can the Baylor defense essentially outperform the Arkansas offense? That right, both sides, both teams have a poor side of the ball, and that's it. So who can win that matchup? And I think, to your point, Arkansas has been getting by.
Yeah.
Baylor not so much, right? They kind of they had a little bit of a problem with Nova, and then they kind of stomped on it towards the end there. I think I'm with Colby. I think the weirdness of this Arkansas team, the length of this Arkansas team, and the Arkansas defense is going to give Baylor's offense enough trouble. If they can get transition buckets, Arkansas, I think they're a live dog to win this game. I almost had them, as you know, Sean, coming out of this region until I stupidly picked Purdue. Don't do that, kids. But I think I think the Must Bus is moving on one more round, Sean. I think they're a live dog. I love the points. I gotta say, I think it is a little trappy, right? We have all our games are in a bit of the college basketball trap zone, right? You're looking maybe to do a 3-team money liner on the favorites to pay a little bit more than even money. I'm taking Arkansas here. I gotta have a couple dogs. UCLA, and this is now Tuesday. Man, Monday, Tuesday. What are they so diabolical? The 11 seed UCLA taking on Michigan. This game, I think we think maybe 4 p.m. Is going to be the tip. UCLA catching 7.5 plus 255 on the money line. Michigan minus 315. 137 is the total. What are we thinking here? What are we thinking?
I mean,
Sean?
this Michigan team, again, I had them to win the tournament. It's tough to go against them. But on the other side, how do you go against this UCLA team? And maybe they just go cold. Maybe that loss is so draining emotionally, but they did. Again, we're kind of going to our theory on teams that are balanced. 6 Bruins reached double digits in points, and they did it this time without Ju Zhang kind of going off. Very balanced approach. But Michigan, I mean, they run that high-low thing with the 2 big men, Franz Wagner. That guy has been dominant.
Let me ask you this: now Alabama was a team that at times looked as good as anyone in the nation. They didn't play a very good game today.
No.
Yeah.
And I worry that now we're looking at a situation where like when have they been tested defensively really?
Who's they?
UCLA.
In this tournament, is that
they've got their shot, but have they really been tested like the way that Michigan's about to test them? Because I think again, size could be a problem here, and I just think this Michigan team's too fucking good. And again, disrespectful line, just like the Florida State line should have been much more than 3. I mean, did you watch them play today? Who's making this line?
USC has the 5th best defense in the country, according to Ken Palm. Now UCLA got swept by them, but one of them was a crazy buzzer beater.
Again, Michigan maybe similar, good comp because they have some size inside, and they're just a really good, well put together team. Sean, we're one step away from cashing a few first round future in the future, the FSGA futures contest. It's just a disrespectful line. I mean, you lay the points here. You lay the points all day. If you want to fuck around with a little Michigan money line parlay, do that too. UCLA is.
Michigan is.
UCLA. God, really I'm happy. Look, I'm happy for UCLA. This is a team on the rise, but this is where they end this year, and it's a great considering this is UCLA, this is a successful year, big time. Success.
I'm on the Bruins. On the Bruins. I think Tiger Campbell. That is one of the most underrated players in the country. Love the way that guy plays. Came up huge today when Jazang fouled out. I just think I know it's tough. 2-day turnaround for Cronin. Normally I do love that 5-day turnaround, but this team is really good, and offensively they are in sync right now, man. They are in sync. I think they can make some things happen. Give me them in the points, man.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth. I'll go UCLA plus 7.5. I think Michigan gets the win, but I think UCLA gets the cover. This UCLA, the offense, they're shooting too well. I think to not cover this spread. They're going to be in this game.
Good luck. The
Thank
nightcap. The last game of the elite. The last Final Four ticket to be punched. 6:42 on the West Coast. USC, the 6th seed, taking on Gonzaga. -9 for Gonzaga. -400 on the money line. USC +350. 154.5 is the total. God damn, this USC team is good. I think they're good, but I think Gonzaga is better.
Yeah,
and I was explaining to one of the kids today how Gonzaga was this team that they haven't lost. And sometimes it's hard to not lose because everyone talks about it, and how they were beating these teams by 20, 30 points, and everyone's like, wow, they're gonna finally play some real competition, and it's gonna be different. And it hasn't been different.
Yeah,
and they're rolling everyone. And while I appreciate the way this USC team has looked and what the program looks like it's up to, because if you're a USC fan, like
Enfield
this
was
is
a good hire.
Way more exciting than the football program right now.
Yeah,
way more inviting to root for. So, again, great season, but this Gonzaga team, if USC lets down for 10 minutes like they did against Oregon, Gonzaga is going to turn this into from a close game to a 15-point game. And you saw how quick it happened today against Creighton.
Michael Creighton. Yeah.
Michael Creighton. You saw how quick it happened.
See, it's not that easy. Trying to make me look
it's
like
not that
an
easy
asshole.
in Jurassic Park.
And you saw how quick it happened, right? Like it's just like it went Gonzaga. It was like, this is an interesting. Boom! It just hits you in the face.
And not only is Gonzaga undefeated, they're doing it by a nice margin. How many, Colby, maybe you'll know this off the top of your head. How many wins do they have? Obviously they're undefeated. How many wins do they have that aren't by double digits? Bonus points if you can.
I know West Virginia, I think, is one of the only, right? West Virginia, right?
West Virginia, you're right. The only game they didn't win by more than double digits. They 5-point win all the way back in December 2nd, 2020. Remember 2020? What a weird, shitty year that was. I mean, again, this Timmy guy, who's matching up with this Timmy guy? And again, they were getting it done even without their main scorer doing that much. And now normally I kind of hate a kid who has a Fu Manchu in college basketball, because it's like, hey, look at me, I'm trying to be funny. But something about the way this Timmy guy plays basketball, I really enjoy. And he's kind of filling the void that was left in my heart when Krutwig and Loyola got knocked out of the tournament. I think Timmy is going to be my new guy. So yeah, I think Gonzaga.
Timmy.
I mean, -9. That feels low, Ryan. You're talking about disrespectful lines. That's disrespectful.
And I think everyone got excited. We're seeing all the upsets this year. You want to talk about how it's a crazy. I think we're going to end up sitting here with possibly. I mean,
it could be a very chalky Final Four.
We could be sitting here very likely, obviously, with the point spreads that with 3 1s and a 2. Now, hopefully, we get an upset. I think it's fun to pick an upset, but also maybe don't get too cute and try to find the upset just because it's that's what you think needs to happen. We've had years like this where it's not super chalky early, but at the end of the day, the cream rises to the top. And again, look at the past every other sport during the pandemic. Generally, the cream has risen to the top, and the best team has won the. I mean, you can argue, I guess, the Bucks wasn't the best team, but the Chiefs were right there. Best team has generally won. So yeah, I mean, Gonzaga laying the points as much as the LA story ends. I think on Tuesday.
Look, if you want to pay attention to the cream at the top, it's the Pac-12. Give me the Trojans. Look, Creighton, Michael Creighton. Well, clearly didn't know anything about basketball because the other 2 teams they played didn't belong really. Norfolk State, look, that they would lose to a lot of teams. All right, that didn't make the tournament. Then they played Oklahoma with Harmon out, right? Okay, they get the first team Creighton, and they had everyone, so there's no excuses. They just whooped Creighton's ass. However, USC and the Enfield is gonna get it done. All right. Slow down the game, please. Slow down the game. You got Evan Mobley.
The whole desk is shaking.
Yeah, and you're going to cover the 9 at least. You're going to cover the 9 if you slow down the fucking game.
Sean gets very uncomfortable when the table shakes.
I'm watching the show, Sean, and it's unsettling to see an entire studio shake.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. You know what?
Or Kramer pounding on the table.
Colby,
What about an earthquake?
Let's dial down the passion to the Sean level. All right. Hello.
Yeah,
That's a great Sean impression.
Oh, hey, I'm great at
pounding the table.
I'm great at picking games.
I'm gonna drink my Pamplemousse LaCroix.
Look at me.
Fucking 8 milligrams.
I like to go running. Look at me. I'm athletic.
Oh, Ryan, great way to. I should have brought in my half marathon.
Yeah,
medal.
you have a badge, right? Of course.
It's this giant shamrock medal.
Put that shit right next to Joe.
I will hang that up.
Hold on, let me get you in the ISO right next to Joe there. And how to be a champion every day.
I did run a half marathon, clocked in at 2 hours and 8 minutes. Thank you for bringing that up. So we're all on Gonzaga here.
No, I'm on USC. Gonzaga's going to get the win. Gonzaga's going to get the win. Somebody is going to slow down Gonzaga at some point.
Yep.
I'm hoping it's USC. The Pac-12 has made a statement already, and perhaps they're battle tested enough to do this. So give me the Trojans.
All right, Sean, I'm ready to do the lock dog bonus lock whenever you are. It's
lock,
easy this week.
Dog and bonus lock brought to you by Better Than Vegas. Head over to Better Than Vegas. Check out all their free video picks. Check out the Capper contest. Colby, unclear if Colby's moving on to the Elite Eight. Colby, do you know what?
I don't think so, buddy. I think I just looked.
All right.
Me and NC Nick did get the boot.
Yeah, I'll take I mean, it's been a fun contest.
You finally lost after having a losing record.
I was having a great run.
This guy gets everything wrong.
Run.
I went 4-2, and somehow I wasn't moving on.
You didn't pick the right teams, buddy.
Exactly. Right. It's getting they're giving away $5,500, so that's fun to check out. But again, subscribe to our page, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BTV, and subscribe so you never miss a free video pick. Kramer, lock, dog, and tease. What do you got?
Well, I'm going to give you one last try, one last chance to switch over to the good side for Michigan, because it just feels like this is lock city all day.
I'm a little nervous about it.
Michigan -7.5. I'm going back to that. Well, dog, Arkansas, bonus lock, Gonzaga. I'm gonna. I mean, obviously, I like Houston as well, but I can't not lock up Michigan.
All right, for my lock, Gonzaga -9. For my dog, going a little off script here, because I'm worried about the Bruins as a money line winner. I'm going to do a parlay of Baylor -7.5 and Gonzaga -9. Little chalky, but I think that parlay will pay pretty nice. And for my bonus lock, Baylor -7.5.
Wow, look at you tying your locks together like a maniac. This is next level.
It's a limited slate. We have to, work with what we got here. Colby, what about your lock, dog, bonus lock?
Locking up the Beavers +8.
Okay,
Oregon like State that play. 8. My dog is Arkansas. I think they're a live dog. And bonus play. Let's go with the Bruins. I'm not. Look, I don't feel confident about that Gonzaga game. I just think someone's going to slow them down at some point.
You sure you don't want to switch to Michigan?
No.
Yeah. Last chance. Okay. I'm just Colby's very confident. I'm trying to help you out here.
Appreciate that, Kramer.
All right.
We got a little breaking news here. We're also on a new. It's called micro podcasting platform Riffer. So check us out on Riffer, RIFFR.com. Already got the profile /gambling podcast. Going to be putting a couple little, like 2 to 3 minute audio nuggets.
You say Ripper?
Riffer.
A Riffer. Okay.
Woo! It's smoking about weed.
RIFFR.com /gambling podcast. Check us out over there. Going to be putting out some little micro pods over there. Man, and when we talk to you next, we're going to be taping a podcast Wednesday night. Final Four podcast Tuesday. We're even going to be doing a baseball preview. Kramer and I,
we kind of tried to avoid the issue.
Yeah, Kramer,
you haven't fell asleep yet doing that? Can we make a bet? Do any of you guys fall asleep in the middle of that?
We discussed this. Now that we're coming, and we're going to be watching and gambling on baseball in the office. So obviously, we should preview it. I need some pointers,
dude. I just did my MLB fantasy baseball draft today.
Wait, when do you have time to do this?
Well, trust me, auto draft was used. All right.
Okay.
I made a couple picks.
Is auto draft the database? Is that what you call? Is that what you call the database?
I was surprised to see that Brett Saberhagen wasn't pitching anymore. All right.
Oh, now everyone's tuning in.
Well, again, since we're going to be betting gambling, we're bringing on some of our baseball guys: Moonoff, Will, Malcolm. We got a nice little bullpen of baseball guys to explain to us what to bet on. So we got that going for you Tuesday, and good week of pods coming up. FCS to close out the week as well.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Long journey, Sean. We're almost there.
Kramer, let it ride.